Thanks, Kane, for inviting me this evening. I'm going to talk about what you can see here on the screen, a question that I've been asking myself recently. The hype of generative AI in CX, customer experience, is more of a hindrance than a help. So before we start, I just want to get a sort of feel of the audience, because it's always really difficult to put together something and talk about something when you don't really know who's turning up. So let me just get a gauge before I go into what I'm about to speak to. So who in this room works within customer experience? Okay, cool, some hands going up, perfect. Who works for an organisation that has customers? Excellent. And who is a customer of a brand or an organisation? Awesome. So hopefully what I'm going to talk about will resonate at least with all of you in the room this evening, whether you are a customer, whether you work in customer experience, or whether your brand has customers. And it's interesting. It's an interesting topic, and one that you might think, well, Kane's invited her to talk at an AI conversation get-together, and is she slagging off the technology here? That's absolutely not what I'm doing. But what I am considering is how has the hype of generative AI perhaps impacted customer experience. So just to introduce myself before I go into it, my name's Laura Ball. I work for Zoom. So for those of you in the room, again by raise of hand, who used Zoom during lockdown, whether that be for your family quiz, for work, for meet up for a pint with your mates? Cool, okay. Everybody. It became the household sensation overnight. Who uses Zoom now in their workplace? Okay, that's cool. Who uses Teams? Oh, okay, no worries. Who knows that Zoom has technology, has software in the customer experience space? Yeah, literally a handful of people. Okay, cool, that's good, because what I'm going to get out of tonight is actually you all now know Zoom has software in the customer experience space, so that's great. We're getting the brand out there for something different. But also what I'm going to talk to you about is perhaps how we are considering customer experience and the potential hype that generative AI has had over the last couple of years. So cast your minds back before the hype of generative AI, and I know it's difficult because everywhere you look, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's social media, whether funnily enough it's round the dinner table with my nan who came out, them doctors, they need to improve their service, Laura, that ChatGPT is now going to change the world, because she'd seen it all over the news. And like, GBP is a currency, nan, not a piece of technology, but we'll get there. And we before that time was talking very much in the customer experience space of conversational AI. And we were talking about how can we improve our customer experience in the contact center space in particular. How do we integrate digital technology? How do we meet our customers where they want to be met at a time that suits them? But also, how do we utilize AI in order to achieve some of our business goals? And primarily, I think it's fair to say, Kane, from what you were saying there, a lot of organisations were looking at what efficiency gains can I get to create then a cost save in my contact centre. Because those of us that work in that space know that a contact centre is a cost centre effectively. So how can we take some of that cost away? And then I guess we fast forward to November 22 and boom, we move away from Harry and Meghan being all over the news to actually overnight OpenAI talk about ChatGPT, generative AI becomes the new popular thing. And what conversations are we then having? Well, since then, the conversations I've been having with organisations have been, Laura, we need generative AI. We've got to get it in. We've got to get it in now. It's going to create huge efficiency gains for us. It's going to change the world of customer experience. It's massive. Brilliant, okay. Why? Why is it that you want to use generative AI? Now, no joke, I was speaking with an executive, an organisation that I won't disclose, and his reason was, well, they've created this role for me, Lauren, and I get paid if we put generative AI into this organisation. So very quickly, the reasoning moved away from actually how are we benefiting our customers? How are we benefiting that overall customer experience with AI to it's the sexy new toy in town and we just need to put it into our organisation because the media outlets are telling us. And you know, with the drama of the royals that we then had the drama of OpenAI and the CEO leaving and going to Microsoft and coming back again within a week. And the turmoil that then came from that was then that question mark of, oh, well, is there a risk with some of this stuff? Is there a risk with putting all of our eggs in one basket with OpenAI, for example? So I guess when you fast forward to the last 18 months and I'm pondering that question again around, has the hype of generative AI in customer experience been more a hindrance than a help? The reason I'm pondering that is I feel like it's taken the focus away from some of the great work we were starting to do a couple of years ago and prior to that. You know, just this week, the Financial Times have come out with a report that they're suggesting customer experience is at a 9-year low. And actually, that's quite disheartening when you work in this space because you see all of the good work that people, organisations, some of you in this room have been trying to do. And then you think, actually, has that hype shifted focus because exec level members perhaps, or you know, customers perhaps, customers who now have elevated what they think that experience should look like because the hype of generative AI is out there. And so I was thinking, so we've got the hype of generative AI, let's cut through that. What do we actually want to achieve in customer experience? What's the outcome here? And we know that if a customer has, PwC, this is reports from me, if a customer has 2 to 5 bad experiences within a brand, they will leave that brand. And we know that actually brand loyalty is what drives revenue. So we don't want customers to leave. And if we think about what else we're trying to drive, you know, customer satisfaction, absolutely. But again, to Kane's point, some of those efficiency gains and saves, we want to repurpose those individuals with the right skills and experience, those individuals that on the front line know our customers best. We want to repurpose them into roles within our organisation that perhaps we can then use generative AI elsewhere if it's the right thing to do. So it got me thinking, and bear with me. Don't Stop Believing. Anyone know the band? No? Please. Journey, there we go. Journey. So this GIF purely came up because I was thinking, how do I put something that's a little bit, you know, memorable, I guess, hopefully you'll remember this talk, about customer journeys. And I think when we think of generative AI and the hype, I think we need to cut through the hype and go back to what we were doing before the world changed overnight, when Harry and Meghan left the news and OpenAI came in. And we need to think about what, as an organisation, is it we're looking to achieve from a customer perspective. And if you don't work in customer experience, you are a customer of an organisation. So put your customer hat on and think, if I'm going through this journey with an organisation, with a brand, what do I want by the end of it? What do I want to feel like? What do I want that end result to be? And if you are working in customer experience, still put your customer hat on. And let's look at, where does generative AI, in fact, where does conversational AI, in fact, you know, all the different technologies, where do they play a part in that end-to-end customer journey? Because what we can't do is just look at the shiny new toy in town and put it across everything. It's not going to work in customer experience. So with that in mind, and Kane said today, was like, come along, see, you know, Zoom are not playing this have not been playing in this space for long. Talk to us about Zoom. At Zoom, we don't really want to talk about our products in these sorts of environments. We're really keen to, and hopefully we'll continue this conversation afterwards, talk about actually what are the goals that you're looking to achieve as an organisation? What is it that customers are looking to achieve by working with you? And therefore, I'm not going to go into a product pitch around Zoom customer experience, but what I do want to do is just share with you actually who is Zoom post-COVID, you know, we've moved away from just purely meetings, and we're looking at how do we support that end-to-end customer experience. And customer experience and customer service are two things. So absolutely, there's the contact centre space and that frontline interaction with customers and the service we provide and what does that look like. But then there's also that end-to-end customer journey, those things that aren't touching face-to-face with customers, those things that perhaps happen in the back end of an organisation. And how do we make sure that Zoom are placed to work alongside you to utilise our platform in the right way at the right time? So what you may not know is we do a whole lot more than meetings, and our platform is embedded with AI throughout. And what we are looking to do with AI Companion, which you'll see is wrapped around the entire platform, is provide that ease, take away that hype, and place AI in our platform at the right place that can support, whether it's your customer journey experience or anywhere else within the workplace that ultimately will have an impact on your customer. And what we're looking to do here is take away some of the perhaps challenges that when you're talking about generative AI, when you've got your C-suite telling you just get generative AI in there right here, right now, and we'll pay you to do that. Actually, we can take that heavy lift because the platform already does that for you. And when we drill that down into customer experience, we're still talking about that simplicity of what we were looking at years ago. What does that customer journey look like, and where do we best place AI within that? But how do we also look at supporting agents? So, you know, again, to Kane's point at the talk at the beginning, a lot of the contact centre experience now is agents currently in EMEA are churning at 35%. It's huge numbers. If you look at how that then impacts your business from a cost perspective, the reasons why they're churning is because they don't like the repetitive rubbish. They don't like the small talk they have to make. Actually, there's areas in the back end where we can support and be safe and utilise generative AI safely with agents rather than putting it straight into your bot on the front end and perhaps putting some of that risk of hallucination or you know, the other risks, cost, for example, that will impact your business ultimately. And with the platform itself, and we're not going to go into details, I'm really keen not to, but what we want to do is make sure that we've got an outcome-based conversation. We're talking to you about what is it you're looking to achieve and what is the right point within all of that to look at AI. And you'll see on there, AI Companion, again, is our embedded AI throughout the platform. Now, one thing I'll mention, and I know Kane did a couple of minute video on LinkedIn about it, so you might have seen it already, but if not, you know, please go and watch it, is we're taking a slightly different approach when it comes to our AI. We're taking a federated approach. So if you think back to the beginning where I was talking about the overnight success of OpenAI and perhaps putting all of your eggs in one basket, we're trying to future-proof our approach to AI. We're trying to make it really flexible. So we have our own large language model, but we also partner with 3 others as well. And we also have the opportunity to bring in your own model. And the reason we're doing this, we're providing that flexibility because, as I say, we want to future-proof it. We don't know really where this is going. I mean, Claude couldn't tell Kane where things are going. So actually, if we have that ability to be flexible and do what you as businesses and your customers need, that then gives us the opportunity to work and be delivering the outcomes that you require from an organisational perspective as well. So a bit of a provocative question, I guess, a bit of a one for us to mull over perhaps as we're networking later on this evening, but one that I think actually the hype of generative AI perhaps has caused a bit of a hindrance because it's caused us to look away from the ultimate end goal of what we're trying to achieve. We've looked at the shiny new toy, we've had our head turned, and I think now's the time to actually think about what is the right place to implement that in order to achieve our business goals and customer objectives. Thank you.